Namaste, angels. I'm having a very Mercury retrograde time. I apologize for you, to you, for being late with this full moon reading. The full moon in Cancer occurred last night at 10:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I actually was speaking to about four of you around that same time, and as we completed our conversations, I'm like, okay, I gotta go. I'm about to record the reading. And let's just say it was one of those days. So it never actually happened. It had been one of those days all day long leading up to that. And that's why it was so late to begin with. I was like, okay, well, I looked at the clock. I'm like, it's 10. So I'm like, okay, at least the full moon didn't happen yet. And I haven't done the reading yet. Let me do it like, well, I'll do it live, or I'll do it at least when it's happening, if not, fully live. And then that time came and went too. And you wouldn't believe what time I ended up going to bed. It was like 3:30, I think, which is not late for me. But the reason I say it like that is because what I was doing, close to 1 o'clock, I decided to start playing with my Norton Nancy virus and ended up on chat with somebody who ended up needing to take over my computer, my laptop. And so I was like, I kept thinking like, let me just do the reading like while he's doing this, but I couldn't because every now and then he'd go like, ma'am, I have to ask, are you there? Okay, I need you to enter your password. I need you to do that. Whatever. Long story short, I apologize, people. I guess I wasn't meant to do the reading yesterday. I even had to check to see if it was like Mercury retrograde because I know, I mean, not, I knew it wasn't Mercury retrograde, but I had to check and see if Mercury was in shadow because I'm like, why is my life so crazy right now? I guess it was just the full moon alone. Anyway, I'm here. I apologize. We're beginning with the Knight of Pentacles. This could be somebody who wants to make an offer to you, or somebody, or some sort of entity, company. It could be a job, some sort of asset coming your way, something monetary, financial. Could even be an offer of love, somebody who wants to share, what they have with you, be generous with you. Not necessarily romantic love, but it could be, or it could be even a family member or a friend, somebody wanting to help you out in some kind of way. Possibly a direct earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. This card also shows up to remind us to count our blessings and to pay attention to details and the little things, like to tend to even like the little things, and don't let things fall by the wayside. Don't take anything for granted. And also up right behind it is the Knight of Cups, who is potentially a direct water sign, a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And he, for me, is often also somebody who is returning to our life. They weren't necessarily romantic with us before, could just be a friend, they're coming back, and maybe they'll still come back in a platonic capacity. But it can be somebody who, now that they're returning to your life or coming back into your life in some sort of way, that now we can grow into a romantic interest, or they're coming back to pursue a romantic interest. Or, it could represent an actual, ex or something. And the next card is in reverse. I do want to show you that when I went to pick up the cards, the first one fell behind, and so I was shown that it is the Two of Wands, which is the soulmate or twin flame, a divine union card of the tarot as well. So all of these cards, again, potentially pointing to some sort of offer of love, whether it is just in sharing and generosity, or it's romantic love or some sort of partnership. And then I'm going to use these other cards for one of the spreads that I do. And with that, also starting with something similar, the Two of Cups. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationships. Marriages or romantic partnerships in distress can still be saved. Don't give up. So I just wanted to show you guys all of that. There's a lot of love energy. And this is the Cancer moon that we're talking about. Cancer full moon. So full moons are about endings, opening right away to the Three of Cups. It is in reverse, so it could be about some celebration that is forthcoming, but perhaps delayed, maybe delivery of a baby or something. Or again, that reunion. When the Three of Cups in reverse shows up, usually you will have some sort of positive reunion in your life with a, person, place, or thing that was previously in your life. It is returning. So you could find something that was lost that means something to you. Or again, somebody could return perhaps the Knight of Cups. On that note, the Page of Wands is about, often about finishing something from in the past, finishing something you started a while back, whether that is job related or project related or relationship wise or whatever. So that's interesting. And behind it is the Empress. It's a very sexy energy too. Oh, so I was telling you about how I felt about the Cancer full moon. Cancer is about emotion, and full moons are about endings. And so I think it is about leaving emotions, particularly negative ones, in 2020. And it's especially fear, like of all the negative emotions. But, also regret, resentment, blame. I think we're meant to leave all those things behind. I think if 2020 should have taught us anything, it's that, again, as I always say to you guys, I mean, those of you who are familiar with my channel, I always say life is both too long and too short, or too short and too long. Like, to not be doing something that makes you happy, to not be working the job that makes you happy, owning your own business if that's what will make you happy, loving the person, regardless of age or gender or sexual orientation or whatever, that would make you happy. All those things, as long as it's legal. When I say age in particular, no minors or anything, but it's just that this doesn't make any sense to not be doing what makes us happy. We could be, gone tomorrow. We're here for a blip. But then if you look at it the other way, if you're miserable, we're here for a long time. You want to spend 20, 30, 40 years not happy? Just, why? So I think that that's what it was meant to teach us. And I think that for a lot of us, that's what's being left behind. Let the water of Cancer sort of cleanse that and wash that away. Let the full moon that is about releasing things and letting go and leaving things in the past, let that, keep that in 2020. And then you start your 2021 with a whole new mindset of being ready to face any and everything that comes your way, and ready to do what you want, in life, and not having anything prevent you from doing those things. Also, for a long time, particularly when I first started, the first couple years, I was always talking about prophecies and Bible verses and the Torah and the Kabbalah and the Quran. I mean, I'm pretty well versed in them all, particularly the Bible. So those of you who don't know, I, was through a few different means, raised Christian, like many of us. I almost became a nun when I was like 12. So I was like really deep. I was Catholic, and my godmother from when I was a little girl, a baby, was a Jewish woman, and that's how I got involved in. That's how I became a child model. That's how I ended up on Sesame Street. That's how I got involved in Judaism, and all that. But my godmother that I chose for myself for confirmation, 7th grade, was a Catholic nun, Sister Trinita. And I chose her because I too wanted to be a nun. So I learned a lot about that. And then when I decided, never mind, I like boys and I don't want to be a nun, I want to have sex at some point, I gave that up. And eventually, well, not all that long after, by the time I was 22, I was, 22, 23, I was married already. And I married the grandson of the owner of Mosque Number 1 in Harlem. And so we used to go to mosque on Friday night and church on Sunday morning. And, you know, my kids would spend time with the imam and learning to speak Arabic and all that kind of stuff. So when I talk to you guys about things, I'm not just pulling shit out of my ass or taking stuff from somebody else's channel like people do to me and all that. I'm sharing my life and my life's knowledge and experiences with you guys with my channel. So one of the things that I used to do quite a bit was go over these prophecies. And I was reading the paper tonight, which is not something that I have done very often in quite some time, but I was doing it tonight. And I read that every 10 minutes, somebody in LA drops dead of COVID, which is horrible. And I thought about how in the Bible, Zechariah 13:8, it says that 2/3 of all living beings will die and 1/3 will remain. And that's something that I used to talk about quite a bit. And I think that not only might that be happening right now, just because everything is aligning, everything that I used to talk about. And I even said, I mean, those of you who've been really rocking with me, like, you know, I even said 2022, 2020, you know, I gave you like dates, like different things that would happen. 2019 we'll be doing this, and then it's happened. And y'all know that. So everything is lining up with sort of leaving the energy of Pisces and moving into Aquarius, happening at the same time that we're dealing with this stuff around the world, not only health-wise, but politically, and in the United States, what we have going on, and in terms of, you know, what many of us look at as light versus dark, and, you know, good versus evil, the devil versus God, as above, so below. That's our experience below. All of these things are more of these reminders that, again, life is short. Way too short to not be doing what you want. And I think that's the big message, not only of 2020, but of the final or last full moon of the year. I also have been looking at this as the beginning of a new 9-year cycle. Yes, 2021 is a universal energy of 5, which is about change. But if we just look at the fact that, you know, at the last number, the 1, that we're at 2020 right now, we're at a 0. So that's like, you know, the ground level, right? The beginning. It means that the last time, 2019, we ended a cycle. So we're just starting one. And if you look at the Chinese zodiac, it's definitely starting a cycle. Right? We just began last year with the year of the rat. February, we'll move into the next animal. And this is metal. This is also the cycle of metal that just began last year. So metal is, of course, also metal. Air, like Aquarius. So I think that's the big thing. I told you guys last year, I said I had this whole vision, start wearing metal. So to me, it's all lining up. And to y'all, I could just sound like a crazy person because it's so like disjointed. But there's so many things that I've spoken about, sometimes seemingly random, but they're all occurring at the same time now, like falling into place. So in Supreme Math, 0 is cipher. It's kind of the last number, but I'm looking at it as the first number right now. And again, 2021 would be like the real first year of the next 9-year cycle in my mind. So it's an opportunity to start something completely different, brand new, fresh, just a totally way of life, the way you were truly meant to live, like in your truth, not just talking about it because you're trying to be like a guru or, you know, #woke, but because you're really doing it. Now let's get back into this reading. I hope that was received as I intended it, and I just wasn't going on. So we're beginning with Major Arcana card 15, Ego or the Devil, which is funny. Okay, this is the cards that are here. They're all Major Arcana. The Devil, the World, the High Priestess, the Magician. This is like, and the next card is in reverse. These cards are like depicting what I was just talking about. The negativity, the drama, right? But all that stuff taught us lessons, or should have. The world, whole world has been dealing with the cycle, and it's gone around 360 degrees, right? We've come full circle. It's the end of the cycle for the world. And now it should have put us into a higher mindset. It should have increased our vibration. It should have awoken something within us. And spurned at least our consciousness, made us want to think about things and look at things differently and have a different understanding. And then realizing that this is an opportunity to start brand new from number one with the Magician, manifesting our lives the way that we want to have them. You are ready. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them, and life is magical. Major Arcana card 1, the Magician, represents the planet Mercury. So again, the metal, ruler of the sign of Gemini, air. The Magician represents the sign of Gemini as well, as does the High Priestess. Can also represent water in the tarot. This is a time to pause and to reflect, not to take action. Trust in your spiritual gifts, as nothing is hidden from your divine intuition. High Priestess, again, Gemini, all about not only paying attention to our intuition, but any information, wisdom, intellect, knowledge that comes to us, however, clarity, revelation. We put it all together, gut feelings, instincts, what does your heart say? All of that, add it all together and make your decisions based on those things. And if it's about your next step, if it's about starting out this new thing, you might want to keep it to yourself until you implement it. Don't let anybody else's energy, negative energy, come in and disrupt it before you have a chance to actually do it. The world is about something coming to an end of a cycle. So it puts us in the place for a new cycle. For me, it holds a fire energy. I usually attribute it to Jupiter or Mars. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude, and the path toward enlightenment. The universe easing you out of one situation, living condition, job, relationship, something, and into one that for which you're better suited. Slow. It could require patience even on your end. And again, the devil is the overall energy. A false sense of entrapment. So this is that fear that I was talking about. Being overly focused on material things and negative or fear-based thoughts. We could have a lot of this going on in both cases. Being overly focused on material things. Why? Because the world is in chaos. Economic ruin, right? Not just in the United States, but other countries. Everywhere, almost. So of course we're concerned, and we're overly focused on material things and on money. People are worried about their jobs. They're worried about how they're going to feed their kids. We're seeing stories. I saw one with this father that he was able to buy his family food, but he had to tell the kids that Santa wasn't coming. But he was thankful to have been able to buy the food. So that's what that is. But what we're guided to do is to remember that we have this power and that we have this power. Because if we can do that, then we can release even those fears and know that we'll be okay. We'll be taken care of. I'm going to do the spread from the perspective of the Divine Masculine in terms of love and relationship with these cards, now that I have cut and shuffled and everything, beginning with this first card that represents the Divine Feminine, and this is the Nine of Wands. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. This can be a card about feeling like you're down and out. All is lost. I don't got no more energy to do this anymore. To keep putting towards this. I'm spent or whatever. And this is the universe saying, no, you're not. Here's another boost to help you to make it through the end. You're almost up to the 10 of Wands. You're almost up to the end of the cycle. You're almost at the finish line. Don't give up. Because after the 10 of Wands is what? Guess what? It's the Ace. It's the new start. Masculine as it relates to the feminine. The Three of Cups, a celebration, a wedding, graduation, or birth announcement, and the need to have more fun. Also, as I mentioned, Three of Cups is about at least one positive reunion during the period. And the period, if I haven't mentioned it, I don't think I have, for this reading, so to speak, is, well, yesterday through the 13th of January, because the 14th is the new moon in Capricorn. The masculine as it relates to himself. Five of Swords. An unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives. So not necessarily feeling good, very good about himself, having made a wrong choice maybe, or, maybe got involved in some sort of gossip or petty argument, BS, something questionable in terms of integrity. Let's pull the next card that's upright for further clarification of the masculine there. And it's another one, Five of Cups. He's just not happy with with something that he's done, a choice or something. This is a card of disappointment, doubt, pessimism. Oh, woe is me. It's not going my way. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped, not seeing the positive in a situation, and crying over spilled milk. Like, you can't change the past, but you can do better in the future. So he's stuck in the meantime, not being able to do that. It's funny because we just talked about the 2021, and I said that it equals 5. He has these 2 5s here. Well, I'll pull one more. Sometimes I get greedy. Okay, so this is another, again, the reminder that there's an opportunity for a new start when we can make it, through the past. And we're able to release it and release these kind of negative emotions and stuff. And this 5 and 5 equals 10 together. Again, 10 is the end of the cycle. The next card is an ace. So the masculine able to release those things, then again, opportunity for fresh start. Not easy getting there. That's why it's the Ace of Swords. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations. Seeing the truth of a situation, maybe seeing where you fucked up. Right? I knew at that moment, that was exactly the moment I had fucked up. You figure it out when this card is being pulled. Also, a challenging beginning. Why is it a challenging beginning? Because again, it wasn't easy getting here. We had to deal with this 5 of Swords. We had to deal with this 5 of Cups in order to get here. But that's also the same reason why it's considered a victory, because you made it anyway, despite those things. The masculine and his higher self on the union or connection as a whole. 2 of Swords. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision. A stalemate. And pretending there's no problem. So this is exactly what I was talking about as well. This is when you know what's in your heart, what's in your mind, what your instincts are telling you to do, but you're concerned, you have negative emotions and worry and stuff. You're concerned about what other people will think, what society dictates, all that kind of stuff. So rather than acknowledge your decision and live in truth, you just do nothing. It's like, if I don't open my mail, I won't have to pay my bills. We all know that's not true. I'm going to have to deal with it. Overall, the King of Swords. Brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice and balance mental and emotional considerations. The King of Swords is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Could be, again, Mercury himself. The day after, the 14th, the day of the next of the new moon, is actually the day that Mercury enters shadow officially. And Mercury will be going retrograde in Aquarius. So it's all air. Well, it's all that metal that I was talking about too. But for right now, the King of Swords is somebody who says what he means and means what he says. If that is not you, particularly the masculine, it doesn't look like it's you. You're supposed to let it get to be you. You can't, again, necessarily, you can't change the past, and you can't necessarily even fix the past, but you can do better in the future by, deciding to do and committing to doing what it is your soul is being guided to do, whatever that is. What the masculine would have, what kind of energy like the masculine would have the feminine give to the union or connection if it were up to him. And it is the Knight of Earth, which we started with the other deck of cards, Knight of Pentacles. He is loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. I'm reading something between the lines there with this honor your commitments. I think that there is some masculine that, regardless of what he's been doing or not doing, still expect like the feminine to behave a certain way, and maybe even just be sitting there nicely waiting for him patiently. You know, the Knight of Pentacles is somebody who can be very slow in coming. He's like this slow and steady wins the race kind of person. And I just feel like he's expecting you to just be, patient. Knight of Pentacles requires patience, patiently waiting. Let me get this better in frame. Sorry, I hadn't looked at the cards to see if they were in frame or not. What energy the masculine himself willing to give to the union or connection right now over this period? And it is this, positive energy of victory. Like I said, the Ace of Swords is a card of victory. This too is a card of victory. It even says here, victory, right? Good news is on its way. Public recognition or awards. So it's like, I can correct the record. I'm willing to attempt to correct the record. I'm willing to do better. I'm willing to, conquer my demons. Or try to. What energy the universe would have each or both archetypes to give to the union connection, and even wants to help us with, but we have to first affirm because we have free will. We have to allow the universe to enter our life, to God to enter our life, or however, whatever it is what you believe, to do this, to help us with this thing. And it is the Three of Wands, abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. Universe wants to help us to be confident enough in manifestation. That's what the Three of Wands is about too. That you've manifested something, but it's not quite here yet. It's on its way. You can see it on the horizon. It's sort of tangible, right? You know it's actually happened. It's actually there, but it's going to require some patience before it's actually fully realized. And the universe wants to help us in having that patience and in making the long-term plans, like what we're going to be doing with our lives. And the outcome. 10 of Swords. Like I said, the 5 plus 5 equals 10. And then we have the Ace. Yep. The end of a difficult situation. So we're going to leave this difficult situation. We're going to leave this all again in 2020. Embrace the change. The 2021, the 5. And expect things to get better now. So we should be looking to it like, again, I know I have the boost. I know that I have this manifestation power. I'm looking at things in a different way now. Expect things to get better now. And then for some of us could even be recovering from some sort of addiction. Not necessarily substance abuse. It could be any kind of addiction, codependency. That could be what the devil is about as well. And even, again, things that hold us back, that inhibit us, could be tied to some sort of addiction or codependent situation or relationship. I meant to use these for the other spread. Now I'm going to have to use, I did not want to use these for the other spread because they have reversals and it could take me all night if I give them. So I'll use these. I'll only put them upright, which is not my style. It's just that this is a longer spread and I don't want to let's do this. Let me put them upright. So again, we're beginning with the High Priestess, who, as I mentioned, could be a water sign in the tarot, but is directly, most directly related to the sign of Gemini. Even has the Gemini symbol there, right? The Roman numeral 2, High Priestess, all about paying very close attention to your intuition, and other indications too, and inclinations, synchronicities, signs, putting things together, like how I was trying to do at the beginning of the reading, or how I've been doing sort of without trying. Also, I've been seeing all this stuff now that I'm saying that. A couple weeks ago, when we had the other, was it the new moon? I think it was the new moon and the full solar eclipse. And I said, eclipses bring death. I didn't talk about death, but there will be more. And I said that some people might not lose human family members, though they could be losing their pets. And right away from that, I started seeing it. And I'm still seeing it. I'm still seeing a lot. And I just posted actually on my Facebook the other day something about loss of pets, that I'm realizing exactly how many of my Facebook friends recently lost their pets. It's very sad. And then somebody commented about that too, like, they're noticing it and how they had a weird experience with the pet thing. I said, I don't know what all this pet stuff is about, but I'm just seeing so much of it. Right before I started this reading at 11:11, I paused my TV and muted it, but I had had it on. It was the news that was on, the 11 o'clock news. And they just did a segment about some kind of pet food or product recall, and said that a lot of people are losing their pets from this thing. So I just wanted to mention that as well. All that came from the High Priestess. Again, all these signs, synchronicities, and stuff like that. So that's our overall. The next card is in reverse. This can also be a card about paying attention to your intuition. Most directly represents the sign of Scorpio, but can also be a Cancer or Pisces or someone like into those traits or attributes. But the Queen of Cups is very motherly energy. She's very nurturing. Again, very psychic, very intuitive, and guides us to be the same. To very, don't waste information that's coming to you. Definitely, pay attention to those signs and the guidance we're receiving, and allow it to help you to navigate your life. So now I'm going to do the spread of the more so general energy, as opposed to love and relationship. But this one can be looked at divine being or couple. The first card is the Ace of Swords. So as we just saw the Ace of Swords a moment ago, another Ace of Swords here. This is the card most directly representing us. Recent past. Okay. So I pulled two. One is the Ace of Wands, and one is the Devil. For some, at least, this could be about Jupiter and Capricorn. The major transit that we just experienced last week. That is the recent past. Right? The conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn, ruler of the sign of Capricorn. I think that's what it is. I say Jupiter because it's the wands, right? Jupiter, ruler of the sign of Sagittarius. Fire sign, Sagittarius. For others, recent past could be, again, dealing with some sort of fear-based or other sort of inhibition or restriction, and then maybe breaking free of that and realizing that you have a new opportunity to to do better and different. Near future. Death. Major Arcana card, Death, which most directly represents the sign of Scorpio. And death is about entering a new phase, right? One phase is dying, one phase is ending, and we're moving into a new one. So this indeed would be the near future. Masculine's higher self. The Fool, ready to start a brand new adventure. Brand new path. I like it. And look, it's the 0. The cipher that I was talking about. We're starting from 0, then we move on to 1. Blocks to individual or shared progress. The Empress. Could be a block that we had to our creativity. Empress is about creativity, creation, sometimes literally. That could be a block for somebody, your mother or your child's mother, or the fact that you were pregnant or are a mother or our parent, and you feel that that's been blocking you somehow, preventing you from doing some of the things. If you had difficulty, maybe because of the pandemic, I got to take care of my kid and I got to try to accomplish X, Y, Z. It's very hard. All those are possible. Also could be something involving a Libra, Taurus, or Gemini, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. But for most, it's going to be this sort of infertility or feeling of infertility, like just creative juice is not flowing. That's what the block is. What the feminine can do to help herself. King of Wands. Maybe a new job, new career path. If that one's not working, if that's stuck, maybe you've into the road in that capacity, but you could create something new. You could start your own business. It can also, of course, be about travel. Wands are about movement and travel, and or relationship, perhaps with a direct fire sign. King of Wands is also the quintessential divine masculine of the tarot. Could be guiding you toward him. Or an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, someone likened to those traits or attributes. Let's move this up too. What the masculine can do to help himself. And it is the King of Cups. Return, come back if you've been away. Allow someone to return to you. Make an offer of love. Take some sort of action with regard to your emotions and or your romantic life. Make some sort of proposal. Knight of Cups, possibly a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. What the universe would have each or both of us, both archetypes, to do to help themselves and even wants to help with. Ace of Pentacles. Brand new start. And again, this is about the manifestation and allowing the universe to help you. It's like the hand of God, right, coming out of the sky, if you're willing to accept it. And the outcome. The Emperor, Major Arcana card 4, most directly represents the planet Mars and the sign of Scorpio, and is about taking your life into your own hands, being the leader and the master of your own destiny. And I'm going to take our advice from my Journey of Love cards. I'll read one from each for each archetype, one for the masculine, one for the feminine, beginning with card number 66. 6 is about love, relationship, and it's called Coming Together. And see here, I mean, this looks like two people to me coming together, or perhaps Mars and Venus, but I actually see here like a feminine's face and hair. I think it's two people coming together. This doesn't have to necessarily be about romantic love, though, but it is called the Journey of Love, and it can be about the spiritual path as well. This card, of course, called She Loves. So very much about the feminine energy, as is the moon, as is the sign of Cancer, too. The Swan, card number 67. Sensual Awakening, 64. It is interesting how so far all the cards I've opened to have started with 6. 63, the light field. And I'll do one more. And it is 33. So we started out with 66 and now 33. God speaks. And the overall energy is card number 46, just for a moment, joy. I think that's like about stopping to smell the roses and to just allow yourself to be happy. But life is a moment, a fleeting one, a fleeting moment. So I'm looking at just for a moment joy as for the rest of the time that you have. We should be seeking joy. We should be trying to be happy. We should be doing what makes us happy. Nothing should scare you from doing what you want now anymore, in my opinion, after 2020. All right, for the masculine archetype, your card is card number 2. Within nothing, there is everything. And for the feminine, our card is card number 54, Earth Angel. Like I said, I will read both. So card number 2 should be right here at the front of the book. From a point of stillness, a moment, a complete universe is opening up to you, endlessly expanding. Your every thought and intention sends ripples of consciousness through the universe. What a creative being you are. You are sending consciousness into motion, brightening your creation into being. With every inner desire, with every whispered wish, the universe receives your yearning and aspirations with open arms, returning them to you as a manifestation in your life. This is like everything I said at the beginning. What is really in your heart? Open your arms, sigh, speak your heart's truth aloud to the loving universe and receive it as your destiny manifesting now. This oracle brings a message to you. Something that you want is on its way to you. It may seem to be coming out of nowhere, no sign on the horizon to give you hope. Yet, and then that could be why you had those 5s, right? You're sort of down and out and disappointed, like nothing's going on. That's not true. It's coming to you anyway, is what this says. Like that, the Ace of Swords that we saw after the 2 5s, it's coming to you anyway, even though you can't tell. It is spiritual law that you cannot be denied the manifestation of your heart's desire. Trust and remain open to the tide of universal love rushing toward you, swelling within you. And feminine, our card is 54. Earth Angel. There's a poem first, it looks like. Earth Angel, you carry the world in your robes and heaven in your hair. You bring me a special gift now, responding to my prayer. Though sometimes I may feel that I'm struggling or alone, you come to me now and carry me into my heart. You bring me home. Even from the darkest depths, I rise up to meet your light. I cannot be separated from the divine. I cannot be separated from the light. This oracle brings a message of divine guidance. You have an angel with you, watching over you and assisting you in response to your heart's call for help, love, and protection for you and for your beloveds. Your prayers have been heard and answered. Keep praying each day from your heart and know that you are safely carried on the journey of love. If you've been worrying about a loved one, Know that this protection extends to them as well. You're asked to pray more and to worry less. Like I always told you, my mother always said, if you pray, don't worry. If you worry, don't pray. This is asking you to allow love to be. I hope you guys have enjoyed the reading. If you want to stick around, I'm going to go over what else is happening over the next 2 weeks or so until the next new moon. January 4th at 1:58 a.m., Jupiter will be semi-square Neptune. January 6th, 4:37 a.m., we'll experience the last quarter moon, 16 degrees Libra. Also on January 6th at 5:27 p.m., Mars, ruler of the signs of Aries and Scorpio, enters Taurus, 0 degrees. January 8th, 7 a.m., Mercury, ruler of the signs of Gemini and Virgo, enters Aquarius, 0 degrees Aquarius. Also on January 8th at 10:41 a.m., Venus, ruler of the signs of Taurus, Libra, and Gemini, enters Capricorn, 0 degrees Capricorn. January 9th, 3:47 a.m., Jupiter will be sesquiquadrate the true node, which is Gemini. And lastly, January 11th at 12:49 p.m., Jupiter sextile Chiron. As I mentioned, January 13th, I was saying it was the 14th, it's the 13th. 12 a.m., the new moon in Capricorn, 23 degrees Capricorn, so another 5. And then January 14th, the same day that Mercury enters shadow at 3:36 a.m., Uranus, ruler of the sign of Aquarius, which has been retrograde in Taurus for a while now, finally goes direct. I hope you guys, again, have enjoyed the reading. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment. I try to answer all the comments that I receive. And when you're subscribing, please hit both the subscribe button and the bell button so that hopefully you receive your notifications. I know a lot of you don't, even though you've done that. Try again. I appreciate it. Namaste.